Have you ever wondered why some stories grip you from the very beginning, while others fail to captivate you? It all comes down to narrative structure. This is the invisible backbone that holds every story together. It's the roadmap that guides the narrative, ensuring that it flows smoothly from the beginning, through the middle, and onto the end. A strong narrative structure is like a well-crafted symphony. It starts with a compelling introduction that grabs your attention, followed by a series of ups and downs that create tension and excitement, and finally culminates in a satisfying resolution that leaves you feeling fulfilled. Just as a symphony needs a skilled conductor to guide the orchestra, a story needs a strong narrative structure to guide the plot and the characters. It's this structure that helps to engage the audience, making them invest in the characters and care about what happens to them. A well-structured narrative can build tension, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats as they eagerly anticipate what's going to happen next. It can set the pace, ensuring that the story doesn't drag or rush, but unfolds at just the right speed. But perhaps most importantly, a strong narrative structure can enhance character development. It can show us how the protagonist evolves over the course of the story, how they overcome obstacles, learn valuable lessons, and ultimately transform into a better version of themselves. This is why narrative structure is so crucial to storytelling. It's like the blueprint that helps to shape and direct the story, ensuring that it resonates with the audience and leaves a lasting impression. But creating a strong narrative structure isn't always easy. It requires a deep understanding of storytelling principles, a clear vision of the story you want to tell, and the ability to weave together multiple narrative threads into a cohesive whole. Without a strong narrative structure, even the most compelling plot or character can fall flat. That's where the circle theory of story comes in. This revolutionary approach to narrative structure, developed by Harmon, can help storytellers craft engaging, compelling narratives that captivate audiences from start to finish. Created by Harmon, the circle theory of story is a narrative structure that simplifies the storytelling process into 8 basic steps. Harmon, the brilliant mind behind the sitcom Community, doodled the first circles in the late 90s while wrestling with a screenplay. He soon discovered that these circles, or embryos as he later termed them, held a power to map out narratives from fleeting gags to entire seasons of a show. Let's delve into the circle theory of story and its 8 crucial steps. Picture a character in their comfort zone. Everything is familiar, safe, but then they want something. A desire stirs within them. This yearning propels them into an unfamiliar situation. It's new, it's daunting, it's thrilling. They adapt to this new environment, learning, growing, changing. Eventually they get what they wanted, but every desire has a cost. They pay a heavy price for it. Then they return to their familiar situation, but they're not the same person anymore. They've changed, evolved, matured. This is the essence of Harmon's circle theory of story. It's a cycle, a journey that a character embarks on, and it's this journey that keeps us, the viewers, captivated. Harmon's theory is a more accessible and broad interpretation of Joseph Campbell's 17 stages of the monomyth story structure. It's like an algorithm, distilling a narrative into these 8 steps, each as crucial as the other. If a plot doesn't follow these steps, the embryo is invalid and the story begins anew. The circle theory of story has not just remained confined to Harmon's work. He has shared his theory on a blog, enlightening millions of people about this narrative structure. Each circle that he creates, each embryo, contains the necessary elements to tell a satisfying story. By following these 8 steps, screenwriters can create a clear, engaging, and well-structured story. The circle theory of story is a tool that aids in crafting narratives that resonate with audiences, making it a valuable asset for every storyteller. Using the circle theory of story in screenwriting offers several benefits. This intuitive narrative structure, distilled into 8 simple steps, is an algorithm for storytelling brilliance. Picture it as a map guiding you through the wilderness of plot development, ensuring you never lose your way. First and foremost, it provides a clear structure. Screenwriting is an intricate art form, and the circle theory serves as a framework to organize your ideas. It's like a blueprint for a building, outlining the fundamental elements needed for a cohesive and compelling story. Secondly, it's a diagnostic tool for identifying story problems. By plotting your narrative on the circle, You can spot issues with pacing, plot progression, and character development. It's like a litmus test, revealing what's working and what needs adjustment. Thirdly, it simplifies the writing process. The circle theory breaks down the narrative into 8 basic steps, allowing you to focus on the essential elements of your story. Think of it as a recipe. You're given the ingredients and steps to create a satisfying narrative dish. Fourthly, the circle theory places a spotlight on character development. By showing how the protagonist changes over the course of the story, it ensures your characters are more than just flat caricatures. They grow, they falter, they evolve. It's like a journey of transformation, making your characters relatable and authentic. Lastly, the circle theory makes the story more engaging. By following this narrative structure, you're crafting a story that's satisfying and engaging for the audience. It's like a rhythmic dance where each step leads seamlessly to the next, keeping your audience captivated from start to finish. In essence, the circle theory of story is a tool that can help screenwriters craft stories that resonate with audiences. It's a secret weapon, a narrative North Star, guiding you towards storytelling excellence. The circle theory of story has been employed in several popular movies and TV shows. Let's delve into some examples to illustrate this point. Firstly, we have Dan Harmon's own creation, the sitcom Community. In this series, Harmon used his circle theory to shape not only the overarching narrative, but also individual scenes and jokes. Each episode sees the characters step out of their comfort zones, face challenges, and return to their familiar setting of a community college study group, having undergone some form of change. This cyclical pattern echoes the 8 steps of Harmon's circle theory, making Community a perfect example of the theory in action. Next, we have Rick and Morty, another one of Harmon's creations. This animated comedy series also follows the circle theory, with the titular characters often finding themselves in unfamiliar situations, adapting to survive, and returning to their original situation, albeit changed in some way, by the end of each episode. The romantic comedy film While You Were Sleeping also adheres to the circle theory. The protagonist steps out of her comfort zone, faces challenges, achieves what she wants but at a cost, and finally returns to her familiar world, having changed. The Hunger Games, a popular dystopian film, is another example. The protagonist, Katniss, is thrust into an unfamiliar situation, adapts to it, gets what she wants, pays a heavy price, and returns to her familiar world, having changed. The film clearly follows the 8 steps of the circle theory. Lastly, we have Breaking Bad, a renowned TV series. The show's narrative structure can be distilled into the 8 steps of the circle theory, with the protagonist, Walter White, experiencing a transformative journey following this pattern. These examples demonstrate the versatility and effectiveness of the circle theory of story in various genres and formats. Whether it's a sitcom, an animated comedy, a romantic comedy film, a dystopian film, or a crime drama series, the circle theory holds its ground as a robust narrative structure. To recap, the circle theory of story is a narrative structure that distills a narrative into 8 steps. Crafted by Dan Harmon, the creative mind behind Community and Rick and Morty, it's a tool that encapsulates the journey of a character from their comfort zone through struggle and transformation and back to their familiar ground, changed and renewed. Throughout our discussion, we've seen how this theory, similar to Joseph Campbell's monomyth, but more accessible and broad, provides a clear structure for screenwriters. It's a roadmap, guiding writers through the wilderness of their imagination, ensuring cohesiveness and clarity in their narratives. By breaking down the story into 8 essential steps, the circle theory simplifies the writing process and allows screenwriters to focus on what truly matters. It helps them identify and rectify structural, pacing, or character development issues, ensuring the story stays engaging and satisfying for the audience. The circle theory doesn't just provide a framework for plot, but it also emphasizes character development. It shows how the protagonist evolves over the course of the story, making characters more relatable and human, and thus more captivating for the audience. We've seen this theory in action, not just in Harmon's own works like Community and Rick and Morty, but also in diverse films and TV shows like While You Were Sleeping, The Hunger Games, and Breaking Bad. These examples illustrate just how versatile and effective the circle theory of story can be, regardless of the genre or medium. In essence, The circle theory of story is a potent tool in a storyteller's arsenal. It's a guide, a mentor, a compass, leading writers and their characters through the labyrinth of narrative creation. Whether you're a seasoned screenwriter or a budding storyteller, understanding and applying the circle theory of story can take your storytelling skills to the next level. So why not give it a try in your next project?